Headline from a story today on Sports Illustrated from Connor Orr, longtime NFL writer. Jonathan Gannon and the Arizona Cardinals can no longer be considered laughing stocks.
There we go. We're not the laughing stocks.
No, we're not. No.
Celebrate.
Yeah, celebrate.
Yes.
In Arizona.
We are not a laughing stock.
Look,
we thought we would be, but we're not.
Honestly, the Chicago Bears took that.
They did.
Between Justin Fields calling out his coaching and then a coach resigning under unusual, mysterious, possibly law enforcement related circumstances kind of thing.
Broncos might be saying, hold my beer, though.
The Broncos
they just gave up 100 points. Right. They got one of their players saying, man, what we do is lose. I've been here 9 years. All we do is lose.
This is true. This is very,
very true.
The
reporters are calling for Van Joseph to be fired immediately. And they play each other this week. That is you know what? You know, sometimes I like to watch some of those crazy, animal videos where,
like the lion chases down the gazelle
zebra,
or something, or the zebra,
yeah. Or it's kind of going to be like that a little bit, you know.
For who? For what do you mean?
Something like between the Broncos and the Bears. It's going to be like watching
that game. Oh God,
yeah.
that
I don't want to say train wreck, but it's like I almost am interested in the outcome of that football game.
Like sometimes a movie can be so bad that it's good, right?
Yeah.
Like it's going to have
Pulp
that
Fiction,
kind of.
You thought it was good. It was terrible, but you liked it.
Gambo.
Easy over there.
I was going to say.
Worst movie I've ever seen was Three Amigos, but that one's close.
Let's do a Twitter poll and find out how many people in our audience think Pulp Fiction was bad.
The Three Amigos was the worst movie I've ever seen.
That one you might have an argument.
That was the worst movie I've ever seen.
But see, that movie is actually the perfect. That one you're right on when it comes to a movie that's so bad it's kind of good.
It was so bad.
A movie that's so corny and cheesy and goofy and dumb that it's actually kind of funny, right? Like you find yourself laughing almost in spite of it. Pulp Fiction's a masterpiece. Pulp Fiction's you just didn't like it because they told it out of order. It's a great movie. Three Amigos. Okay, I'll buy you. Three Amigos. That one was so bad it's good. People are now. I don't know if this is done. I don't know if this is over. But this story basically is saying, let's run through everything that we kind of laughed at Jonathan Gannon about. We laughed about that video that the team put out a couple of months ago, and we laughed when he said this, and we laughed when he said that. And he writes, quote, we all may be quietly deleting our Gannon roasts at some point. It's that they damn near beat the Commanders in week 1. They were clubbing the Giants in week 2. When we're talking about most teams, near wins are meaningless, but when we're talking about the Cardinals, their level of effort and attitude absolutely matters.
Isn't that okay? Stop right there. This is a great talking point. NFL, right? NFL, like no moral victories. Wrong. I said in the beginning of the season, one of the things I'm going to look for is how many close games do they play in. It was my main thing. I want to see them playing close football games. I want them to be competitive. I don't want them to get blown out the way. If I was a Broncos fan right now, you're humiliated.
Yeah.
You look at Mitch. He can't even show his face right now. He almost didn't come into work yesterday. You're humiliated. You're a Bronco fan. You can't even tell people what team you're for. I don't really watch the NFL anymore. I'm more of a college football fan. Deion, go Buffs! Like, you can't even admit you're a Bronco fan.
Yeah.
They're going to be wearing paper bags on their heads. There is something to say. There is something about a team that has no expectations to do anything. Playing hard, playing competitive, win a few games, be competitive in others, and say that, okay, there's probably a different word for moral victory. Okay, it's probably not a moral victory, but it does count for something. I think that's a great line right there. I do believe in what he's saying.
Moral victories, no. Progress, yes. Improvement, absolutely. Hope for the future, sure. I mean,
yeah, good words, all good words. You got another one? Keep going.
Keep going. Sorry, I just tapped out at those, but that's what it. And you said a word. Since we're parsing words here, it's everything comes from expectations. All right. When you're expected to be the worst team in the league, when you're number 32 out of 32, when the whole world says you're tanking for Caleb Williams, man, moral victory, no, but anything that's better than that, anything that shows you got a heartbeat and a pulse and you're competing in these games, you look at that as progress. You look at that as better than we thought and an improvement over what we were expecting. I mean, if you're expecting a team to compete for a Super Bowl and they're a 500 football team, the year is a massive disappointment, right? It works the opposite. If you're expecting your team to be the very worst in the league, and they are very clearly not the very worst in the league, how do you not look at that as some form of success,
Okay.
as some form of progress, and Gannon's been at the center of all of it.
What if I told you the Cardinals were going to go 0-17 this year, but every single game they would lose by one score? What would you say?
I would say you got the number one pick in the draft, and you're showing me that you're competitive in games I didn't expect you to be competitive in.
Okay.
Is that what you were looking for? That's what I would have said.
Yes, but I will say, and that's good. But I will say that you lose one game, now you got a 5-game losing streak, a 7-game losing streak, a 10-game losing streak, a 12-game losing streak. It beats the hell out of a team.
Yeah.
You have to get a couple of wins in there to just, because losing sucks. And it beats players down, it beats coaches down, it beats owners down, it beats the fans down. You got to throw them, you got to throw them a, what's the word?
Just give him a cookie every now and
then.
right?
A cookie. Throw him a cookie.
Give him
Okay.
a cookie every now
Right.
and then, right? Give
Every
him a
once in a
little
while,
something to be happy
You
about.
got to have something to be happy about. You get a win against Dallas. Now maybe you lose to San Francisco, you lose to Cincinnati. Win one of the games against the Rams or Seattle. It's another win. You just got to have some wins to just not let that losing seep into the organization and destroy you from the inside out.
Yeah. Here's something else they write, and this is probably the line that stood out to me the most. At the very least, if the Cardinals had Caleb Williams in their periphery, it seems Gannon and the team was not apprised of those designs. Tanking in the NFL is already difficult, but it's even harder when a team is going full throttle every week as Arizona has. This may be the last time we think about the Cardinals this season, but by logging the biggest upset of the year, they have proven themselves bus takers, or whatever it was Gannon was talking about during that speech, that we are officially not allowed to make fun of anymore. And that's basically the point. We're not allowed to make fun of him anymore.
Yeah.
And that's for being the last coach hired in the cycle, the one with some of the biggest question marks in terms of the tampering and how he got here, how it ended in the Super Bowl, constantly getting ripped by Philly media. This week has been, now I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the season. The Cardinals, look, we got to consider the possibility of the Cardinals at some point become the team that we thought they were going to be at the start, but it's been real clear after the first 3 weeks. They're just better than anybody thought. Look at the power rankings. Look at some of the advanced metrics that I know Darren Urban wrote about today on azcardinals.com. If you look at some of it clearly paints this picture of a team that is not nearly as bad as everybody thought. And that's a testament to Monty and the way he put this team together. And that's very much a testament to Jonathan Gannon, a guy who had a lot of question marks as a coach and a lot of people doubting him and a lot of people mocking him and laughing him. And I think he's a little bit of a victory lap right now. He'd never say that, but I think he's on a little bit of a victory lap right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. And the thing you said yesterday makes a lot of sense. That, one of the things that may come out of this is that they have the right head coach, they have the right GM, they have the right coordinators.